talk about China for a second, because somebody that I know and respect yesterday had said, well, the Chinese are just fine with this. They're completely fine because the Russians will be dependent on them. The Chinese, it was about as wrong-headed of an assessment as I've heard. Russia, again, going back to Dr. Brzezinski, and he's right, just like Putin, they lose if the status quo is maintained. That was the case in 1950. That was the case in 1970, 1980. It's the case now because they don't want to be America's junior partner. I spoke to a Russian diplomat who before the war broke out, who said, this isn't about Ukraine. This is about you all being at the center of this global world order. Why should we and China put up with it? Well, it's a global order that the Chinese have maniacally been focused on dominating for 30 years. And now that they're at a point where they're in a position where they can start dominating, Putin is setting it on fire. Anybody who thinks that Xi wants that to happen with their growth slowing down really needs to get outside of their apartment and see the world more. This is a nightmare for China.
So China is integrated in the world economy, needs the economy to function dynamically, to keep growing and prospering. The Chinese like a more ordered world. They do like to have their hand on the controls, but they like a more ordered world than Vladimir Putin is bringing them. And I think they are beginning to exert subtle pressure on Russia. Russia doesn't have, I mean, what do they got? Belarus. Right. If China really begins to pressure Russia toward a settlement, that's going to be a decisive factor.
And, Katty, what happens when America and the West starts focusing on these horrific war crimes and the human rights violations that we've just sort of pushed to the side with Russia? What do you start thinking? Well, wait a second. What's going on in China? What about the Uyghurs? Suddenly, all of these things that have been pushed conveniently to the side, people start focusing on, because if you're seeing human rights violations and war crimes happening in front of you, you start asking, well, what if there were cameras? What if we could see what was unfolding in China right now? And they know that. They don't want transparency. And Vladimir Putin, he's
opening this all
opening up everything for China, for the world.
What potentially could happen in Taiwan were China to decide that they were going to go and try and take Taiwan? I mean, I had a conversation about 2 weeks ago, before the invasion of Ukraine, with a Chinese economist based in Hong Kong who was saying, look, it is part of Xi's legacy. Within the next 5 or 6 years, he will take Taiwan. He was very convinced that was on Xi's list of to-do things, high up on Xi's list of to-do things.
Getting lower,
I'm just thinking, in the last 2 weeks, I mean, if this had gone well, if this had gone to plan, yes, the prospect of Taiwan going to China may have been up there. But how would he do it now?
It's hard to explain. Historians are going to look back, and they are going to be completely baffled why Vladimir Putin was such a fool that he actually had caused division between the EU and America, and that China was ready to exploit that gap. And he's just brought us all together in a way that we haven't been brought together since World War II.
This has not gone as planned.
This is bad for Russia. This is bad. And you're agreeing. This is, China loved the separation that they were starting to see between the United States and Germany, the United States and France, the United States and the EU. Putin has destroyed this for Xi. He's right now looking like an idiot brother to them.
So Putin is rebuilding this world that had seemed in disarray. You know, the transatlantic alliance, the things that we thought were really gone, are back, and they're back in a way that I haven't seen this dynamic.
He's building a tripolar world.
He is built. So you think it's hard to take Kiev? Imagine how hard it would be to take Taipei. Taipei is a huge city, and it's protected by a great big maritime strait. And the Chinese, I think, are waking up to the reality. If the Russians are having this much trouble, holy smokes, how would we invade across the strait and in an acceptable time period be able to take? So I think if in many ways the outcome of this is the opposite of what people predicted, that this would pave the way for the new Russian-Chinese era. It's seeming to have the opposite effect.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.